Good evening. Welcome to Architectural Engineering Design 1. My name is Blake Sauders. I will be your child's teacher for this semester. A little bit about myself. I'm originally from Indiana. I have a degree from Purdue University. I got a master's degree from DeVry University. I've taught at Wapahani High School in Selma, Indiana. I taught at Barron Collier High School in Naples, Florida. And for the last 17 years, I've been here at LT. My family and I, we live in South Naperville. My wife works at Built Elementary School. My son is a freshman this year at Neuqua Valley High School. I have been a coach for Little League Baseball, YMCA basketball, I-9 sports, flag football, and I was my son's Cub Scout den leader his entire time in Cub Scouts. Some of my hobbies are woodworking, hunting and fishing, and I enjoy camping with my family. I'm also the Technology Student Association robotics team's coach. This will be our fifth year, our fourth year competing nationally. We have 5 teams. We've grown over the years. We started with 1. 7 of our teams have qualified for the Illinois State Championship. 2 teams have qualified for the VEX World Championships. Last year, we competed in 3 tournaments locally. We won 11 pieces of hardware. Kids did a really good job. 2 of those were tournament champions. 4 of our teams qualified for state championships, and 1 team last year qualified for the world championships. At the bottom is our website. If you're interested in checking it out, please do. You can scan the QR code there, and it'll take you to that. If your child's interested in joining robotics, we'd love to have them. A little bit about the course. So this is an introduction to architecture. Some of the things we're going to do, we're going to talk about industry standards and what needs to be in the drawings that they create. We're going to use we typically use the Revit CAD system to make those drawings. This year, we're not quite able to do that right now, and I'll talk about that here in a couple seconds. Some of the other things that we will do is students need to be able to communicate their methods and rationales for the types of the architectural drawings that they do, why they chose to do what they did. They'll be able to communicate those with myself and their colleagues. And then we're also going to discuss some different career information and employment skills that would be necessary to them to have if they were trying to wade into this field. Software-wise, traditionally we use the Autodesk Revit system. This year we're using an application called AutoCAD Web App and Google SketchUp while we're remote. If and when we go back to the traditional classroom, we will switch back to Autodesk Revit. Some of the things that we're going to cover is the software introduction. Revit's a new system to all of them, so we need to take some time to teach them how to use the system and how they can explore and they get more comfortable with that. During that, we draw just a basic little house. We're working on that right now. So the other areas we'll talk about is the world of architecture, the different styles that you see when you travel throughout this country and get out away from the Chicagoland area, the different styles of homes you would see, the different types of housing available, things like that. And then we'll talk about the basic design of a home. What goes into a basic design, what is needed, what they must have. We follow standards, industry set codes for the LaGrange area. Typically, I just use LaGrange. They don't vary much from village to village. There is some that are different, but we typically just use the LaGrange building codes. We'll cover sleeping and bath facility areas, living area, and service areas. And those we'll talk about what goes in, what makes it functional, what doesn't. A typical one is in the service area is kitchen. Kitchens are obviously the most popular for reselling your home and things like that. Many of you have been in homes when you've looked at them to buy a home, or you lived in an apartment or a condo. The kitchen layout is not great. There's a thing called a working triangle. We'll talk about that and how that is played into a design of a kitchen to make the functionality. Other things that are simple that people just don't think about is your path of travel when you go from one room to another room. Are you intersecting across in front of people? How you disrupt a room, or try not to disrupt a room. So we'll talk about those things when we go to building those out. Grading practices. We're going to use a straight 10% grading scale, letter grades A through F. Students will all take a common summative assessment. Okay, that'll be at the end of those units that we just talked about a little bit. As our build up before that, we'll have formative assessments that the kids will submit. Um, those will be done different ways. I'll be providing them back with feedback on those things, and from there, they will make those adjustments, and then their summative will be their final project of that. If they're making those corrections on those formative assessments as they're given to them, their summative should be pretty well done and set. There shouldn't be too many adjustments that need to be made. However, if they don't make those adjustments, those formative assessments, their common assessment is going to look a little low. But the good news is they have time and they can do a retake and a revision of those. Please understand on the summative assessment, if the due date is set and they don't turn it in, it will be marked as an M. 2 weeks after that due date, if it's still not there, it will be a 0. Like I said, they can do a retake or revision. They have 3 weeks to do that from the due date. Your child and I will sit down and discuss what they need to address and what they need to change before they go back and redo a retake. Please understand that it's a no harm situation, meaning if they score lower the second time, I will still be using the highest grade. So remote learning, yeah. Question is, how are we going to do this? My answer to the kids has always been together. I need them to communicate with me what is working, what is not working, what they don't understand. But they need to have that open line of communication. They need to verbally or written, they have to express this. They have to take ownership and tell me what's not going on. Just like in the same way, I have to communicate with them. I need to be able to tell them how you need to do this, when you need to do this, what you need to do, where you can find more information, where you can find resources. I'm really big at creating videos, so that way that they're working at home by themselves without me, outside of the classroom. They can pull those videos up and get answers and solutions. If that doesn't work, they can always reach out to me by email and things like that. We've done a really good job on this. Most of these kids I've had in class before. Several I have not. So they know this way of doing things is not any different than it has in the years past. So I look forward to working with them. And like I said, together we're going to get better at this. It may seem strange right now, and it is. I'm not going to lie about that. It's different. However, it's getting more comfortable every day. I believe they're getting more comfortable with how we're doing things every day. Just continue to encourage your children to keep reaching out if they need help. We keep asking questions until we get what they feel comfortable with. If you have any questions or concerns, email me, bsauders@lths.net. I look forward to meeting up with you as soon as we possibly can. Have a good night. Thank you.